The recent attack on Rigathi Gachagua in Othaya, Nyeri County, sent shockwaves across Kenya's political landscape as one of the most dramatic confrontations involving a senior political leader in recent times. What began as a peaceful church service at Witima ACK Church on Sunday, January 25, 2026, escalated into chaos when tear gas canisters were lobbed into the congregation, live bullets were reportedly fired, and vehicles were set alight, and those present were forced to flee for their lives. Amid the pandemonium, Gachagua and his team found themselves trapped inside the church, with eyewitnesses describing scenes of panic as women, children, and elders scrambled to safety. Amid the confusion, some reports even alleged that unidentified hooded men seized Gachagua and took him to an unknown location, prompting urgent calls from his allies for his release within a strict time frame. The unrest drew urgent questions from local leaders about glaring security lapses that allowed such a serious breach of public order to occur in a place of worship, raising concerns about the protection of citizens and public figures alike. At the same time, national figures and former senior officials condemned the violence and accused those responsible of undermining constitutional freedoms and social cohesion by permitting or facilitating attacks on a peaceful gathering at a sacred site. Opinions diverged sharply on why the attack happened. Rigathi Gachagua himself immediately blamed government forces, alleging that a special squad within the National Police Service had been deployed specifically to disrupt his activities. He and his supporters framed the incident as an intimidation tactic by the current administration intended to weaken his political influence ahead of the 2027 general elections. According to that narrative, the deployment of tear gas and the use of force against worshipers were deliberate acts orchestrated to destabilize his base of supporters and hinder his ability to mobilize politically. Prior incidents in which security forces used tear gas and force at gatherings where he was present have been cited by his camp as part of a broader pattern of targeted disruption, including confrontations at other church services and campaign events in different counties. This interpretation suggests that the attack was politically motivated, designed to send a strong message to Gachagua and his party that their actions and rhetoric against the government would meet with forceful resistance. On the other side of the debate, government officials and allies of the administration offered a very different explanation. Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku publicly accused Gachagua of orchestrating the chaos himself, claiming that the violence was a managed event intended to generate sympathy and political mileage by portraying himself as a victim of state repression. According to this account, Gachagua's entourage allegedly included armed supporters whose presence and actions contributed to the disturbance, and the subsequent disorder was exploited to paint the administration in a negative light. This version of events paints the former deputy president not as a target, but as a provocateur, someone who deliberately brought conflict into a place of worship to manipulate public perception and gain political traction. Supporters of this view caution the public against accepting Gachagua's claims at face value, arguing that deliberate violence at political events is unlawful and that respected institutions such as churches should not be arenas for staged political conflict. The broader context to the Othaya incident is the heightened political tension gripping Kenya as the nation approaches the 2027 general elections. Rigathi Gachagua, a prominent leader of the Democracy for Citizens Party, has been at the center of national political controversies since his departure from the office of deputy president. His relationship with the current government has been fraught, with mutual accusations of intimidation, misuse of state security agencies, and attempts to undermine each other's political standing. Earlier episodes of unrest at his rallies and church functions have repeatedly made headlines, with claims from both sides about who is responsible for the violence. These episodes reflect deep fractures within the Kenyan political environment, where rival political interests often intersect with security operations, and where public gatherings can rapidly become flashpoints for broader disputes over power, governance, and political legitimacy. In the immediate aftermath of the attack, the national conversation has focused not only on the specific circumstances of the Othaya incident, but on larger questions about political violence, the role of security forces, and the boundaries of political expression in Kenya's democracy. Critics of state conduct have demanded accountability and transparent investigations into why force was deployed in a place of worship and whether political leaders, security agencies, or other actors are to blame. Meanwhile, supporters of the government insist that unlawful acts of unrest must be condemned and that responsible leaders should avoid inciting or enabling disorder in public spaces. Both sides of the debate appeal to fundamental principles of constitutional order, human rights, and the rule of law, even as they interpret those principles in ways that support their respective political narratives. The attack has also highlighted the challenges of ensuring public safety at political and religious gatherings, especially when tensions run high. Questions about the adequacy of security preparations, the rules governing the use of force by police, and the protection of civilians in politically charged environments have come to the forefront of national discourse. Community leaders, civil society organizations, and legal experts have called for thorough investigations to establish clear facts and to hold those responsible for unlawful conduct to account, regardless of political affiliation. The violence at Othaya and other similar incidents have underscored the fragile balance between political competition and public order, and the risks that arise when that balance is threatened. Amid these complexities, ordinary citizens have found themselves caught between competing interpretations of events, uncertain about who to believe and what the truth of the situation really is. For many, the incident has deepened concerns about political violence and its implications for national unity and stability. For others, it has reinforced long-standing beliefs about the nature of political struggle in Kenya, where power contests are intense and often spill over into public spaces in disruptive ways. Whatever the precise motivations or orchestrators of the attack in Othaya, it has become a symbol of the broader contest over Kenya's political future, illustrating how high-profile figures like Rigathi Gachagua can become focal points in struggles over authority, legitimacy, and the direction of national politics. As investigations proceed and the national dialogue continues, this episode serves as a reminder of the importance of peaceful political engagement and respect for the rule of law. It also underlines the need for comprehensive and transparent processes to address allegations of misconduct by any actors involved in politically charged confrontations. The implications of how this incident is resolved will likely ripple through future political contests, influencing public trust in institutions, shaping narratives about political leadership, and affecting the strategies of parties and candidates as they navigate the road to Election Day. This is not merely a question of a single event, but of standards by which political competition and civic life are conducted in Kenya's evolving democratic landscape. My name is Kelvin, and I am the producer of this show, and if you want to stay informed about these kinds of important developments, subscribe to the channel for future updates.